Alright. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Got background noise from the fan, that's what. Let's get these cards rented. This is everything. Is this everything? Yes. All right. Rent cards. Ah. Sore throat. Now rent cards. And eventually we'll get a notification that they've come in. Come on. Any day now we will have cards from mana traders. Possibly. There we go. I think I am going to try out Nihil Spellbomb over Soul Guide Lantern today. Played a league last night with it with Soul Guide, and the card just always feels very meh. Like, if we're playing it literally as a consideration for Leyline of Sanctity, and the decks that typically play in Leyline of Sanctity are a little bit down, then I personally am less excited about it. So let's export. What's today? 22nd? And we'll update to Stream Decker. Gonna have to deal with my coughing all day today. Set as current. And let's make sure. Boom. All right. And we will just jump straight into the first league. I can't... It looks to me like the microphone's picking up the fan behind me. If y'all can hear it, let me know, and I'll cut it down. Actually, I'll probably just cut it down anyway, right? Alright. Hopefully that makes things better. At least a tad. Alright, so let's see what we get round one. And as we start getting more people jumping in, I'm going to see what the opinion is on dividing out content by days. I think I suggested it before at one point, but we never really came down to a determined schedule or anything like that. But the idea of putting like an individual day of the week dedicated to a variation of Death Shadow. So maybe like Monday is our Rakdos Scourge deck, Tuesdays Jund, Wednesdays Grixis, Thursdays 4-color, Fridays something different, something like that. Steven coming in with the 5-month resub. Twitch notified me about your streaming this time. I guess they know when you're playing a good Shadow deck. I feel targeted. I think I got an emote. Alright, what do I think about this? We're like a red source or a fetch land away from it being pretty good. We're on the draw. I think I'll roll with it. Worst case scenario, like I get to play these bow mats. I'm gonna kill my bow mat. Don't do it, opponent. Alright. So Ketria Triome immediately makes me think 4-color Uro. The namesake card has arrived. Bowmat is the best card ever printed in Magic the Gathering. Hard agree. Like, not even close, right? Just Bowmat and then a world full of things that aren't Bowmat. All right, going for a bit of a tempo play here. So, like, I'm assuming my opponent's going to play out this Teferi and not tick it down, just, like, tick it up. Unless they just really want... If they're missing a land drop, I could see them ticking down. Yeah. All right, opponent, what you got? Just play Scourge here. Just play Scourge all the time. It's the, like, obviously we just cast Scourge and the opponent scoops, right? That's what makes the card good. So I know about the cryptic command, so I'm not too thrilled about just throwing a Scourge straight into it. Because if my opponent just goes, like, counter the Scourge, bounce the untapped Bowmat, like, not too thrilled about life. But with this, or these Battle Rages, I mean, I've got a decent chance of a Battle Rage turning into a lethal attack. All right. Opponent clearly wants to hang on to this cryptic command pretty heavily. Like, clearly they value this cryptic command more than I value, like, having Scourge on the battlefield. Let's see. Where are the modes? I think I'm just killing my Bowmat here. Like, stifle this draw. It's like my opponent's missing land drops. So I'm not that afraid of Field of the Dead right now. And now next turn, if I can like Battle Rage the Swift Spear and have lethal. Pedro, how's it going? Still testing Rakdos. Like, I think it's good for sure. I don't know if I'd say like, oh, this is the best shadow variant or anything like that. Let's see. I think I'm just jamming, no Battle Rage. But if they're not doing anything, yeah, this is fine, right? Like, I'm just gonna get threats down and make them deal. Just Hour of Promise. Yep. So I basically get to like Battle Rage's Shadow plus attack and pop Bomat Courier looking for like a lightning bolt. And my opponent's got to be able to answer both of them. Alright. So my opponent can't make enough zombies to stop that battle rage. So they had to have Force of Negation plus a blue card. And if they did, then I'm absolutely like attacking and popping Bomat Courier. Played Rakdos once or twice in FNMs way before this version. Are you talking about like the old Soul Scar Mage Lava Dart version? It's like I played that one a little bit and always thought it was pretty meh. That one. I want K command here. Like K command, a Miser's K return are all options. I'm just going to roll with this. Even before that, started with Mono Black Shadow. That's pretty intense. Alright, what is this hand doing? If I draw like running fetch lands, the hand's fantastic. But if I don't, the hand's not doing anything. Alright. We'll get rid of the second shadow. Save this basic for Bloodbone. Could have had the old quad shadow opener and we messed up. What's in Mono Black Shadow? I'm intrigued. Aren't we all? Alright, second swamp is interesting. That's really good. How am I sequencing this? So if my opponent is representing a counter spell, I think I want to go Inquisition plus Scourge. And because I drew the second swamp, I guess I want to Scourge first and then Inquisition, because I would rather them counter this Scourge, honestly. Sure. Alright, so the hope here is no second Force of Negation. God. And the path. Jeez, opponent, calm down. Alright, no fetch land. No get back Uro. Oh, perfect draw. Perfect draw. Alright. Sure. Alright. I don't know why opponent scooped there, but we'll take it. That black counterspell, the one that's like counter something unless someone pays 5 life. I think that's the one. Got like 1 game versus Tron and 1 game versus Taxes. Got trashed that night. Oh man. Blood Moon 2 strong. Indeed. Opponent sees that second Blood Moon. They're like, you know what? It's not even worth it. Because I know he's following up this Blood Moon with double Death Shadow. Luris Mirror, eh? Alright. The question now becomes, which variation of a Luris Mirror? Are we up against another Scourge deck? Are we up against Hammer Time? Devoted Devastation? Scourge it is. So opponent's got the both the push and the Thoughtseize. It's a little rough. If they had one or the other, I would have felt pretty good here. Alright, well they're missing land drops. Alright. Opponent too disciplined to fire off that lightning bolt at our face. Alright, so what's my play here? I don't want to put myself dead to double bolt. And now I don't have to. Good draws are good. Double fatal push. Opponent. Alright, I think we're just going for the dismember here. Not the target I was expecting to be able to dismember, but we will take it. Yep. Death Shadow's a really good draw there. Assuming they don't have another lightning bolt. If you got it, you got it. All right. Let's see, I'm on the play. I think this is fine. We probably could have made an argument for not going down to 3, but if they got lightning bolt, they kill us. If they have basically anything else, then we get to Luris plus threat every turn. And with that Battle Rage in hand, I think we win from the lures plus threat scenario. I would love, let's see, Rakdos. Just a play draw matchup. Probably not. Just because there's so many aggressive one drops. And a lot of them get really stonewalled pretty quickly. Yep. Kept in Battle Rage post board. Well, all right then. Dismember my Scourge. Or my Bowmat. God, that thing. This shadow with the expectation of bolting yourself. It kind of feels like shadow with the expectation of bolting yourself. No blue shadow. Nah, not today. We need to get some more games of Rakdos under our belt. I can't make fair comparisons if I don't have any experience with the current builds and iterations. Yep. Light up the stage. Oh man. Not what I expected to see. Alright. Have fun with that path. Like, I'm sure this means it's Luris plus, like, some sort of follow-up. Scourge or another shadow or something. Like, I'm not going to pop the spell bomb. So I guess worst case scenario here would be like Croxa plus K command. All right. What you got? Well, like I'm snapping off this block. Did they just throw away a fatal push? What are you hoping to draw that's better there? Maybe I truly have no idea how to play this mirror match. Alright, on to game 3. Match number 2. We won match number 1 over 4-color Uro. So let's see how this one plays out. I'm at least a little optimistic. Eventually, opponent will decide how they would like to sideboard. Hope everybody's ready for Christmas. We've only got a couple days left. If you haven't done your holiday shopping yet, you're probably not going to get it done in time. But maybe you can storm the crowds with all the other crazy people. Don't at me like that. Throwing you under a bus for not getting your holiday shopping done. For shame. Got to get that stuff done back in like mid-November. Listen, I have an excuse and my family is already okay with it. Usually my excuse is like, come on, you guys have known me for 30 years. You know that I'm not getting this done in time. And then if that doesn't work, like I'm out of ideas. Lost my job due to COVID right after Thanksgiving, so they aren't expecting anything. Well, that's fair. Like, that's an actual reason. And I think we can all understand. I hope that the new job search is going well. Am I just keeping this? Like, double Scourge is really good here. I think I'm just keeping it. It's actually 31. But feeling 21 every day. Every day of my life. Remember when I was 30, the world was there for the taking. Everything except flying. Like, actually jumping out of a window and flying. Is this the old Swift Spear quad bobble start? Nope. I mean, you can still play Shadow. It hasn't gone anywhere. All right, we've got a good old-fashioned race to the land. Our hand is pretty good against what our opponent's got going on if we can hit the second land drop. Yep. All right. This is absolutely how we don't get there. Yet again, we're like one land away from making this work. Not that land. Yep. Letting them have this Swift Spear because I need to get a redraw for this Bauble. Or this Spell Bomb. Alright. So we've got 3, 4, 5, potentially 7 points of burn in hand. I think it's Fetch, Shock, Double Shadow. Do they have it? All right. All right. Our sideboarding decisions were completely wrong. We got done in by bad burn spells and Tamer Battle Rage. We're not worthy. One threat wouldn't cut it that turn. Yeah, like, we had to have double threat. If they were relying on, like, getting Seal of Fire back, we could stop that. But they had to not have the second Lightning Bolt. And obviously they did, so we died. Zaros. What do we think about this hand against Zaros? On the play... Alright. Because it's another, or probably another Shadow Scourge deck, I think I'm going to keep it. Never mind. Not a Shadow Scourge deck. You'd lead on Thoughtseize. So leading on the Swift Spear means if they Thoughtseize me, they have to choose between either my answer to their creature or my answer to their creature. If I Thoughtseize and they just have, like, multiple things in hand, I'm kind of stuck here not doing a whole lot. Ooh, Hammer Time. Give me something good. All right. That looks like a Luris to me. I want my Luris. See, do you prefer going on Monastery? It's matchup and hand dependent. Like, if I'm trying to protect something, leading on Thoughtseize is usually better. If I'm not trying to protect something, then leading on the guy is usually better. If I've got redundant protection, the guy can be better. Not the greatest draws in the world. I know I'm dead, but opponent does have to go for it. And maybe there's a chance they don't go for it for fear of me having, like, fatal push into who knows what. What do we got? The old triple pure steel paladin. Hey. Come on, equip it to the ornithopter. Come on, equip it to the ornithopter. All you gotta do is equip the hammer to the ornithopter. Just strap it on that bird. Opponent has seen the line. All right. All right. Hammer does make it lose flying. Yes. How are you dead there? Yes, because there were two 12-12s attacking at me. That is, in fact, how I was dead there. All right. We did the math, can't confirm. We saw the line. The line resulted in us not being alive anymore. Please path me. Dang. That's a really good draw. One more land. One more deck. Now we need not double hammer. Not sure why no attack there. Are they trying to go like end of turn, put in hammer? Okay. That's one short of lethal. Well, couldn't beat that without seeing the extra land. Yeah. All right, 1 and 2, on to match 4. I'm surprised that opponent kept Ornithopter in hand after playing the Auriok champion. Or did they play Bobble on their turn and crack it? Can't remember. No on this one. Alright, this hand's pretty good. Problem is, to lose the push against this deck, you have to keep... I'm guessing you mean keep all the responses. Like, part of the issue there is if we're not getting in attacks or using our mana at all, like our opponent's just beating us on multiple fronts there, we need to be doing something. So this could be Storm. I'm not sure what all plays. I guess the Boyle deck plays River Glide. It's a possibility. The Kiki combo deck. If you've been having a hard time with shadow lists lately, I've tried a ton of different variants on MTGO and keep going 3-2 and 4-1. Just curious if it was just me. I definitely don't think it's just you. It's kind of like the archetype in general at the moment. Like you're trying to play a mid-range-ish tempo deck, and all of your interaction is being stretched in very, very extreme directions. Alright, so that's really good to get Scourge out of bolt range. So it is Storm. If I take a ritual... So let's see. They go... Baral... Baral, ritual... If they hit a land... Oh no, we're just killing them. So this doesn't matter. Whoops. I missed the banning. What happened? Spam. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, so I'm bringing in Spell Bombs as a Little Grave Hate, leaving in Bolts as answers to their guys, and K-Return to deal with Empty the Warrens. Yeah, so what Steven said, like 3-4 ones in a row is basically GP top 8, is a good way of looking at it. Just break it down into segments. Like, you don't have to have a bunch of 5-0s to be doing really well with the deck. Like, 3-2 is still a 60% win rate. And when you talk about, like, Pro Tour caliber players, they're usually looking at 60 to 65% win rate with a deck. All right. I believe opponent just skipped through their first turn. Which is apparently something that we have started to become quite accustomed to. They kept a hand with only basic mountain. What a shitty storm deck. I mean, they didn't even play a land that game. It's kind of nuts, right? Like, how often do you get to win a game without your opponent playing a land? And not be on some, like, Oops All Spells or Neo brand deck. Also, leagues are chaotic as fuck. You can't be prepared for everything in Modern, so even playing the best deck in the format won't guarantee 5-0s. Also correct. Any deck that's trying to be interactive right now, you're having to fight like against one extreme in creature-based aggro and combo decks like Heliod, Hammer Time, mono red, the 1-drop deck, and then the far opposite side of the extreme with like basically creatureless control decks like the 4-color Uro piles, as well as no creature, hard to interact with combo decks like Charbelcher and Oops All Spells. And it's really tough to find a middle ground at the moment. How many Bowmats is too many Bowmats? I think I'll ship 1 because I do want to Inquisition or Thoughtseize on like turn 2. But depends on what we see. If I see something that indicates they might get in the way of these Bowmats, I'm more likely to Inquisition on turn 1. With Hallowed Fountain, I think I'm just going to go with the Bowmat. Perfect Magic deck, 40 Bowmats, 20 Mountains. So you're saying you don't want any, what's it called? Forgotten Caves in there. Alright. So firing off this Inquisition here in case this is like Spike's. Yeah. I was going to say in case it was like Spike's Lotus Field deck, I might want to nab like a Tail's End or a Blood Sun or something here. Alright then. I've gotten more like turn 2 or 3 random concessions this game than I think any other like league I've done ever. Will you lose a life from silent? You mean silent clearing? Yes. Because Blood Sun only says that you don't get the ability if it's a mana ability. Or if it's not a mana ability. And since silent clearing, you're paying the life to produce mana, you do still lose the life off of it. But if somebody wants to double check me on that, they are more than welcome. So I don't want to give away that I'm on Blood Moon just yet. Like, playing out this Verdant Catacombs on turn 2... and giving myself a chance to draw into another fetch for a basic on turn 3 is like just the same as just the same as like showing them that I've got, or how am I trying to explain it? Fetching up basic swamp on turn 1, playing a Bowmat Courier and swinging is like pretty clear indicator that I'm planning on blood mooning. But by playing out the catacombs and not cracking it here, since I don't have to play out like the Scourge, I'm doing a much better job of hiding that I'm on blood moon. They could have another Cleansing Wildfire here. Or not. Alright. Anything good? Ooh, 45 play points. I will take me some 45 play points. Alright, is there anything we want to change up before the next league? Don't think so. Well, actually, we should... Or I guess we are running 2 swamps. I don't know why I thought we had less. Or I know why we, or why I thought we had less. It's because I'm pretty positive we exiled the second one to our Bowmat Courier. Put in some better swamps. And I guess we'll just run it back, see what happens. Never know till you try, right? Time for the dark side? You mean the Uro side? That just sounds so degenerate. I don't know, like, I have a really tough time personally with picking up any deck that I know is going to have something get banned out of it. Like, either something gets banned out of the Uro deck, or it just ruins Modern completely. Like, there's not a lot of in-between there. But who knows? Maybe I could do the work of being another one of these people that jumps onto the deck from Shadow and works to get it banned. Being on the other side. Yep. Guess I'm taking a Blood Chief's Thirst. Or am I just taking the Croxa? Guess I can just take the Croxa. Like, better to let it get one trigger than two. Discard the Thirst. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. So, if they get back Croxa, they get to make us discard our push. I guess that's fine. Alright, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep Baubles in the yard for Luris. All right, opponent, what you got? So we know they're losing 3 off the Croxa. So I think we're just attacking with Croxa. They trade, we get to get ours back. All right. Right, offer the trade. All right, so Rakdos. I'm guessing just like the Rakdos mid-range deck. I don't think I saw anything that really pushes me to believe otherwise. Yeah, on the draw, I can shave some Bomats. They line up really poorly against like Magmatic Channeler. Bombat hype. I'm telling you, I'm going to get mine signed. Opponent's clearly afraid. They know what's up. They see the writing on the wall. Sad Bombat noises. If you can give me a good example of what a sad Bombat sounds like, I'd be very much impressed. Alright. So opponent could be going for a Blood Moon here. If they are, they are. So be it. Strangled beeps and boops. That does make me quite depressed for the Bombats of the world. Alright. Season Pyro. Oh, Lily. Sure. I believe I'm just discarding this Shadow here. Well, I guess we can draw off Spellbomb and see. Angrath the Flame Chained. Huh. That's a modern legal magic card right there. Angrath the Flame Chained. Willie Adel really does have a huge influence on the mid-range scene. You are not wrong there. All right. Odds are pretty good that this K command is going to involve getting back a Bomat courier. Well, there was a period where it was pretty likely to be getting back a Bomat courier. Shoot Lily, pick up Shadow. I really don't want to be shooting this Lily if I'm not killing it. All right. Not entirely sure why they didn't just activate, or I guess they would have had to have gotten rid of the channeler if they activated it. That's a little awkward. Punished for not fetching there. Also a good one. Does mean that Hazaret can't attack this turn. Unless they have something to play. Oof. Alright, what does getting back Croxa do? Leave Luris, because I do have another K command in the deck. Oh, but they get back a Croxa. Or they get a Crocs in their yard and they have enough to get theirs back now. Alright, not entirely sure what we pick up here to win, but... TBR would be lethal. But you don't want to leave in TBR against your EE, Liliana the Veil, Fatal Push opponent. Alright. It could just activate Hazoret twice. You're correct. Maybe we do need to leave in a Battle Rage against them. Like, I don't love it. But they do have a lot of sorcery speed action, and if we're assuming like Fatal Push is their only instant speed, then maybe it's okay. I guess we get to find out. Season Pyro. Well, opponent's obviously afraid of it. I'm down to clown with the courier. Drew Bomac can't lose. Exactly. Like, nobody in the history of Magic has ever lost a game in which they've hit their opponent with a Bomac courier. Hadn't happened. Can't prove otherwise. You may claim that it's happened. You may have a great uncle twice removed who swore he saw it once, but hadn't actually happened. That's right, opponent. Fear the courier. Ditching the channeler. Opponent, you gotta care a little bit more about your cards there. I don't want to fire off these bolts because I don't want to just like give away that I could have lethal here. Yep. Not the worst. Ironically, we would have had them dead if we had just thrown the bolts at their face. All right. Not entirely sure why they activated that on my main phase. Or why they activated that on their main phase. I mean, push revolt certainly would have made more sense, right? But they don't, obviously they don't have anything or they would have used it, and they're drawing magmatic channeler that we don't really care about. They have something else. Maybe an Engrath. Hazaret, sure. Ultimately, I don't think we care about that one either. So now we can attack freely and kill the Croxa. Alright, they're drawing Blood Crypt. They've got their last card in hand's a Magmatic Channeler. If I play the Bloodstained Mire, attack with both. Or am I playing Bloodstained attacking with everything? It's basically a free attack with the Lurrus, right? So they have to block one of the other two. If I play the Bloodstained Mire, attack with everything, they block Croxa on Shadow. I can trade off Shadow with Croxa, choose not to fetch, play the Shadow from the yard, second main phase, and then have Bobble plus the Scry. Alright. So yeah, we'll trade off Shadow for Croxa, play Shadow back from the yard, Bobble, go. And now your hand is Blood Crypt, Magmatic Channeler. Did I miss something? Oh, Season Pyro tokens, sure. But this beats that, right? Just attacking. Alright. Want to know match number 2. Or league number 2. Yeah, so Jax, the idea was, the attack shrinks the shadow after it goes through, which is why we didn't have to fetch and shock to try to outgrow the Croxa. Like, our shadow is going to die inside of combat if he blocked Croxa on shadow. But by not playing the bauble and recognizing that it was a free attack, we got to just replay an untapped shadow after combat, hold up our fetch land to make it bigger than the Hazoret on the other side, and still have the bauble from hand to scry with that fetch land if needed. Something, tight technical play. Yeah, like growing the shadow inside of combat wouldn't have mattered because it would have just shrunk afterwards because of the Luris hit. So we could fetch to grow it inside of combat and make it bigger than the Croxa, but then it just becomes a 7/7 or a 9/9 with 6 damage marked on it. We gain the 3 the next time state-based actions are checked. It's back down to a 6/6 or less with 6 damage marked on it. So I think this is taxes. Didn't register that blocking Hazoret on Shadow still let it die. Yeah, if they did block Hazoret on Shadow. Or I guess this is Nivtalite. Oh no, it's Heliod. Yorion Heliod. Something. This is a strange looking taxes deck. You are not incorrect. It's funny how the 80 card deck can still have Utopia Sprawl into Skyclave Apparition. Fiend Artisan. So I'll take Conclave Mentor. Something. Opponent has 80 cards and still has their combo. / tilt. MTGO is rigged. Tilt. I mean, opponent's just the superior Magic player. So last card in hand is Fiend Artisan. Opponent is going to so generously give me back my 1/1. Alright. Fiend Artisan. Yorion as companion. Unknown off the top. Which of these things is the scariest? Opponent has the ability to put a counter on the Walking Ballista. So we do have to be at least a little bit careful of life total. Let's see what you got. I gotta keep an eye on this Fiend Artisan too. Because, like, if I kill something before damage, it's going to grow. So, like, I could go Bolt Face, Bolt Face. But they sack the Ballista and the Fiend Artisan gets bigger. I can go Bolt Artisan, Bolt Ballista. I think that's what I do. I think I Bolt Artisan. Now they have to choose if they want to sack one of these to keep their Artisan from dying to the Bolt. It won't die during combat. Looks like... Okay. Like, they can sack the ballista. I guess they could, like, shoot the Arbor Elf. Make the... No, the... Yeah, the Artisan would still die even if they shot their own Arbor Elf. It would go up to a 6/6, 3 damage on it. Swift Spear would grow up to... Yeah, this is fine. Alright. It's a pretty good draw. We could attack and, like, give our opponent the opportunity to not block. And then we could bolt ourselves, grow the shadow, hit them, bolt them. That seems like... not quite where I want to be. So many Skyclave apparitions. That's 3 Skyclaves in the top 15 cards in their 80 card deck. Am I playing the Scourge, or am I playing around the 4th copy of Skyclave Apparition by playing the Lurus to hand? Alright. 4th Skyclave, easy peasy from the crypt. How's it going? Currently trying to beat up on some, I guess, green-white, Heliod, Yorion, something. Not entirely sure what's going on. Thanks for the bits as well. Just got the notification, so apologize for being late. Let's see. Green, white tribal Skyclave. I think that's what I'm calling it. Courier seems a little bit rough because it does get stonewalled by a lot. Maybe K command's a little slow. Do something like that. After 4th Skyclave, you would draw 4th Bolt for sure. You greatly underestimate the amount of luck that I have in this game. Okay, we definitely need to throw some emotes for the bits. See, our one of Bomat Courier we kept in. Naturally, it's going to come to us. The card knows. It's just like, I heard you were talking shit. Here to defend my title. Alright, so because I drew the Dismember, I'm just going to get attacking here. Like, I'm pretty positive they have the Auriok champion. Oh, that. Sure. Did they just... Okay, Batterskull. Sure. It, like, didn't pop up, and I was like, did they just fail to find off of this? Batterskull plus Apparition. It's a tough one because I'm pretty positive we can beat the Batterskull. Like, we probably could have gone Swift Spear, Dismember the Stoneforge Mystic, and just, like, ignore the Batterskull. Ha 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 ha. The bait attack there. The I bet you don't block because you're afraid of me going like push the bird, kill or eat the Skyclave Apparition. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay. It's not it. What do we think? Ballista. Probably Giver of Runes. Burrington Forge Tender. Not the one I expected. All right. What are we doing here? Kill the thing that gives me a blocker. I was probably going to cry at a Veil of Summer there. Cries and tears of black and blue. Also, who was it that came around earlier and said we weren't playing Blue Shadow? Totally Blue Shadow. Grixis. Now, the question becomes, are we showing Reign of Gore? Are we showing Reign of Gore? It'd be funny if we died of Birds of Paradise with a blue-red sword. That doesn't sound funny at all. That sounds terrible. Why would you wish this upon me? Opponent about to get blown out by this Spirit Guide Battle Rage. Sure. Carry on, opponent. So they've got Yorion, unknown, unknown. Amplum is used to killing people by equipping flyers with equipment. You are not incorrect there. Assuming this is just like a free attack because you're planning on Yorion blinking it. But I don't like the odds of just like taking 3 and dying to a ballista. Also, this is the second time that our Bomac Courier has exiled our second basic swamp. Yep. The irony. Come on, opponent. Attack with the Forge Tinder. Present lethal. Maybe they forget about Forge Tinder. They did not. All right. On to game number 3. Are we changing up anything? Kind of like the extra battle rage. We haven't seen Path out of them. Bring back Bowmat on the play. All right. Game number 3 against 80 card Yorion Heliod combo something cards and stuff with Veil of Summer. I think that's the exact name that Goldfish has up. Somebody might have to check me, but I'm pretty positive. $80 card Yorion Heliod spells and stuff with Veil of Summer. I'm expecting somebody to write that down on their next, like, written in deck list whenever Paper Magic comes back. So what are you playing today? 80 card Yorion Heliod spells and stuff with Veil of Summer. Bring Reign of Gorn sideboard, not siding it in against Heliod deck. Who cares? Well, in 2 games, we haven't seen Heliod. And we didn't see Auriok champion that game. Like, it doesn't mean that they don't have those cards. It's just I don't want to, like, go too deep down this rabbit hole of, all right, how scared am I going to be of the cards in the 80 card deck? Oh my god, our opponent didn't have a Utopia Sprawl. quick. Stop the presses. Also, not playing out the fetch land that we know about there. All right. Now the question becomes, how many Auriok champions do you have? All right. Step 1 in a positive direction. Finding second land. No, baby. We will take that one. Archangel of Thune. Well, we got to take that one. Yep. Interesting. So, let's see. If we attack with everything... Or let's say we start by fatal pushing the germ token. Prowess trigger. We attack with everything... I'm trying to think if I've got an attack that doesn't leave me dead on the backswing and for sure kills this turn. Because if I don't, I need to go push the germ token, lightning bolt the elf, attack. Like, let's say I push the germ token, prowess trigger on the swift spear, attack all. If they block Auriok Champion on the Shadow, I'm battle raging over for 8. 9 off the illusion. 10, 11, 12 off the Swift Spear. And then if my opponent untaps and draws a land, they just go equip the Batter Skull. This is 5 to equip. Equip the Batter Skull, equip the Sword of Fire and Ice, and attack back and kill me. So I can't do that. I can attack with just the Shadow and see how they block. That's probably the best course. If they block with just the Auriok Champion, we bolt ourselves and deal 14. If they block with the Germ token, then I think we have to... What? If they gain 4, they go to 8. I think if they block with just the Germ token, we deal the damage. Alright. Alright. So, what I was talking about was, if we attack with the Shadow and they block with the Germ token, we can't bolt ourselves in Battle Rage for lethal. And if our opponent draws an untapped land, they can pay 5 to equip the Batter Skull over to the Auriok Champion. And then between the Arbor Elf and their extra land, pay 2 to equip the Sword of Fire and Ice. That way they can swing through both of our blockers. That's 5, 6, 7 lifelink, vigilance, and then hit us for the extra 2 to kill us. So we had to come up with a plan, like if the Batter Skull blocks instead of the Auriok Champion, I think we Fatal Push the Germ token so that they can't gain the 4 life. Lightning Bolt the Arbor Elf. And pass. And our opponent can equip the Batter Skull to the Auriok Champion. But then next turn, if we bolt ourselves, Battle Rage. Or I guess we assume they attack with the Auriok Champion if they equip up the Batter Skull. So we can't bolt ourselves there, but we are just making the Shadow like 10 power stronger. So, weird one. Just Batter Skull equip would be enough. We can't deal damage through a Pro Black 5/5. Just eats 10 damage and heals 5. Yeah. Well, it eats more than 5. It eats 10. You're right, it does. Or you know, you had it right. Eats 10, deals 5. Right, right. All right. Pretty good hand. All right, so I'm going to lead Fetch Shock, Bomat Courier. Get down this this extra counter on it in case I need it. And then if I draw a fetch land next turn, I could find myself in a matchup where I want to Thoughtseize, Fetch Shock, play out Shadow. So blue-red Prowess. I think that means I'm down to Bolt a Soul Scar and get in some damage. How do I like this list? It's okay. Like, I don't have a ton of experience with the Scourge variants to begin with, so I don't have a lot to compare it to. But I do like the current configurations of the list with, like, Blood Moon in the board and Knight's Whisper and Inquisition of Kozilek. It's kind of rude, opponent. Take the really big, scary one. The hope here is that my opponent misses their third land drop and just plays Sprite Dragon attack. That way I can just dismember this and play out 2 4/4 shadows. But if they have the land drop, they can play the light up the stage. They didn't play the light up the stage. For anybody who doesn't know, light up the stage says the spectacle is if an opponent lost life. So us fetching on their turn, dismember in this case, anything like that's loss of life. And triggers light up the stage. It's like opponent's clearly attacking with the intention of turning on light up the stage. They can't really attack here or they die. Or they just die regardless. So their cards are light up the stage, something that's not light up the stage, and probably can't deal 5 damage to a shadow. Or 6 damage to us. Alright, what do we got? Blue-red Prowess. Blue-red Prowess. Like, our main deck's pretty good against them, so I don't want to go overboard here. Maybe just like that. Yep. We can play around Blood Moon. We can answer Stormwing Entity. We've got dudes. It's about all we can ask for. Bomat's so bad against the Lava Dart deck. I mean, it's not the greatest, but we're not going to sit here and, like, not play one of our card advantage engines because we're afraid of one specific card that's, like, not great against the rest of our deck. Vapor Snag. Now we're talking. It's like, all right, our opponent's either got to use one of their 2 lands or a lightning bolt to get this Bomat Courier off the board. And neither one of those things sound particularly bad to me. They can Vapor Snag it if they want, and we just, like, don't care. I don't think I care enough about the prowess trigger to save this bauble. I think I'd rather just, like, find more action. Scribe to the bottom with Opt. Metamorphose isn't bad. Gut shot. See, these are the kind of things that it's like, okay, if my opponent's gut shotting and lava darting my Bomat Courier, I think I'm pretty okay with that. Yep. So they could Vapor Snag their own Soul Scar if they want. Looks like that's what they're doing. It's a pretty good one. It's like running revelers. Running revelers would have been so much cooler. Alright, what's next? Hope everybody's having a great, what is it, Tuesday afternoon? Or evening, or morning, or Wednesday morning, whatever time it is, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out with us today. Hey Ho Dito, they run 1 to 2 Reveler in the side, I think. Makes sense. It's like kind of like a weird card to sideboard, I guess. But to each their own. It's a pretty good little tempo swing out of them. Yep. I guess we can see what we were going to draw. Just for the heck of it. Yeah, opponent, that's how close you were to dying. Alright. What do we see there that we want to concern ourselves with? Bedlam Reveler. I don't want to like go all in on the Spellbomb plan, but Reveler is a card that along with Stormwing can like really tax our removal. So if I get a chance to prevent Reveler from being cast, I want to at least consider that option. Yep. Hand's great. So they got the Stormwing. So I think I'm just going to take the Swift Spear next turn. Croxa. Turn after that, dismember the Stormwing. Well, I guess we can get some cards in our graveyard. What's going to hit the bin? Opt. That's putting, like, a lot of faith in this Stormwing entity. So we're gonna go for the lightning bolt first, because if the lightning bolt connects, I would like to just save this dismember for something else later. Like if they have a gut shot or something, we can still kill it, but I don't really want to do that. Stormwing number 2. I can dig it, opponent. That's a pretty good one. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm not too afraid of a Bedlam Reveler next turn. I think I'll go ahead and crack this. Punished. Third Stormwing entity. All right. Stuff's happening. Fourth Stormwing entity. No. Alright. I think we just have to take the Sprite Dragon and kill this. How'd they scry? I guess that explains how they scried. Play those funky burn spells, opponent. If you don't use them, you lose them. Alright. If you got a bolt, you got a bolt. I can't hit here and not play Croxa. Vapor snag my Croxa. Alright. It's a whole mess of burn spells we're dead to. That is not one of them. Alright. Are we dead, opponent? Oh, man. Not really how you expect games to finish up. But love it nonetheless. Hand's great. Little Courier into Night's Whisper into Shadow. I was so nervous since you got to 4 life. No, it was easy. Couldn't have been easier. Psh. That's a lot of lands. Rin and 6. The land situation is not improving. Like, we only had to fade like 1 draw step, right? I think do I like Shadow Fetch? I think I like Shadow Fetch. Am I fetching now? Fetching now plays around like Bolt in response to something. I think that's probably okay. So I don't want to like fetch to try to kill something or kill the Bloodbraid or something off the top and have my opponent just go like, all right, in response to your fetch, bolt it. Or they just have everything. All right. Like, the Arbor Elf gives them 2 mana, but once they hit that Utopia Sprawl, they can make 5, and cutting them from 7 to 5, or cutting them off of 7 when they have 5 doesn't matter. Like, if I was cutting them from 3 to 1, yeah, that's great. But past that doesn't really make a difference. See, I think the 3-2 doesn't make a difference either, and 7-5 can probably be more significant than 3-2 versus 1-1. All right, so we've got to take this this argument 1 point at a time. Do we agree or disagree on fetching on my turn instead of fetching on my opponent's turn? Agree on fetching on my turn. All right. So are we casting the push or are we passing with push up? Casting push. All right. So now we get into the importance of the Arbor Elf versus the Bloodbraid Elf. The 5 to 7 mana jump. What are we afraid of happening for more than 5 and less than 8? Like, what are we afraid of that they can't do with 5 that they can do with 7? Some combination of 2 spells. All right, what 2 spells? I'm just trying to come up with a series of events that we're concerned about. And I'm not disagreeing that there aren't any. I'm just trying to figure out like what that looks like that has us worried there. Because if you're saying there's a series of spells and I'm saying that I don't think there's a series of spells, then we need to find our common ground. See, 3 Chandra plus double bolt. Talking about the line that they had, the line that we weren't going to be able to beat anyway. Like, I don't think that's a line we need to No, you're good. You're good. This is good conversation. Like, I think a line like that we're losing to regardless of what we fatal push there. Because let's say we don't... let's say we do fatal push the Arbor Elf. They untap, play Chandra, tick it up, we take 2. We can't kill them on our turn. They untap, double bolt us. Like, result doesn't really change there regardless. Just they have a chump blocker with the guy, Bloodbraid Elf. The old Aether Vial. That's a really good draw. Alright, opponent, no Skyclave Apparition, please. That one's not the funnest either. Alright. Path to Exile unknown. Let's see. Ghost Quarter. So we could bolt ourselves to try to set up lethal. We can't search off of this Blood Crypt regardless. Yeah, I think we're just going to get this off the board. Is that lethal? I think it is. Yeah. Alright. Game number 2. Blue-white taxes. Bomat gets kind of stonewalled by everything. All right. Big bucks, no vials. Second land would be clutch. Deputy of Detention. At least with that card, like, you get your stuff back, and that's a pretty big bonus. Seems like a pretty aggressive take of a Swift Spear there. So they've got to ferry. Finally. I mean, finally, but not in a great position. Like, we know they have Yorion. If we play out multiple shadows, we get wrecked by this deputy. And they have the path. Alright, we'll just go to game 3. Don't think I want to change anything. Maybe the Croxes are worth a spot. Bomac gets a little bit worse now that I've seen 1/3s out of their deck. Nope. As much as I would love to keep the 4-bolt hand. On the bright side, opponent was nice enough to mulligan with us, so we're not alone on this venture into card disadvantage. I would like a Thoughtseize. was going to say, I would really like for my opponent to play something I can Fatal Push here. Auriok Champion, double Path to Exile, Stoneforge. I guess the one bright side here is this double Path to Exile is going to ramp me into this Lurrus pretty nicely. I don't know why they didn't just play the Auriok Champion that turn. Like, taking 3 but getting down Auriok Champion seems like a fine trade to me. Nope. Want to keep Mishra's Bauble for Lurrus. Well, if they don't top deck something like a Skyclave Apparition, we might have a shot. Trying to set up a point where I can, like, discard this Yorion from hand. Fetch land. Not a fetch land, but I think we'll take it. Well, I was trying to save K-Command until I got my 4th land so that I would be able to tag, like, Yorion once they added it into their hand if I couldn't Kroxa. But now that they have... Or now that I've drawn the land I need... Then I'll hit it and hit the hand. Because if they add Yorion to their hand this turn, I just get to get back Kroxa and get it. Basically, I just wanted to make sure I was saving a way to discard a card from their hand so that I could get Yorion. And now I'm just hoping I can kill him over the next attack or two. All right. Is TBR in the list? Yes, I boarded both out game 2 against here because they have Teferi, they have Path to Exile. So Battle Rage isn't quite where we're looking to be. Discard Yorion. Okay. So 4-1 that league. Not bad. See what we got. Rook Egg. Dies, create a 4/4 red bird creature token with flying at the beginning of the next end step. That's a long ways to wait for a Rook. Standard All-Star Rivers Rebuke. Cerebral Vortex, one of the first few cards I ever built for picked up for a constructed just casual deck. Had like Cerebral Vortex, Is It Chronarch, We Dragonauts, Lightning Bolt, what were the cards? Invoke the Firemind. Magmaw. Pay 1, second non-land permanent. Magmaw deals 1 damage to any target. And last but not least, Leyline of the Void. No idea if that's worth anything nowadays. I remember playing Rivers Rebuke against Abzan tokens in my blue-white approach to the Second Sons deck. Yeah, Rivers Rebuke was quite the pain. Like, a lot of black-green mid-range decks that we were trying to force with, like, the energy sub-theme had to play like negates and stuff in the board because if your opponent resolved a Rivers Rebuke, you just lost on the spot. All right, let's see. Yeah, I thought the 4-1 went fairly well there. Like, I don't think the Blood Moon really came up that second league. I like the Spell Bombs over the Soul Guide Lanterns. Croxa was really good that league. Night's Whisper is really good. Feed the Swarm I'm still pretty iffy of. I think that it could be something better. Reign of Gore is probably going to get swapped out for something else. But then again, like the Heliod deck we played against, we never actually saw Heliod. But if we're not bringing it in, if we're not bringing Reign of Gore in against a pseudo Heliod deck, is it good enough to keep in for the actual Heliod decks? And that I'm not sure. So if anybody's got any opinions on that one, feel free to drop said opinions. But otherwise, I think I'm going to call it there and send everybody over to Doomwake. He's currently playing some black-green Yawgmoth. So if you plan on sticking around, feel free to share some love on his channel from us. Hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their Tuesday. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out. Appreciate everybody stopping by and checking out some sweet Shadow action again. Probably be live tomorrow, probably around 2 o'clock. The Ozolith, do you feel that Bomats are not really doing much? I think the Bomats did a decent bit. There's a lot of times that there are matchups that Bomat does get kind of stonewalled, especially if you're expecting your opponent to play a lot of like 2-mana 2/2s, 2-mana 2/1 first strikes, things like that. But I think that if you're able to clear the way for Bomat to get in 3 or 4 attacks and aren't really like pressured to sacrifice him, he's really phenomenal. But anything less than that, it is like a shock, basically. So I think the floor most of the time is that it's a shock, and the ceiling is that it's a char that draws you 3 cards. So just kind of have to decide where that is for you. But it's about the auto raid, so I will see everybody tomorrow. Appreciate you again for hanging out. Take it easy.